Well, welcome to Thought for the Day. If you were at the service on Sunday, whether you were there in person or whether you were watching the live stream at home, or even if you've watched the recording since, you probably noticed that there was a little bit of disruption. A gentleman arrived and he'd had something really difficult happen in his life, and he was asking Terry some questions during the sermon, asking me some questions a bit afterwards. I think it was handled very well. I know he was welcomed as he arrived. I was able to talk to him afterwards. In fact, spend some more time with him later in the week. But if you think about it from the service point of view, you might have thought, well, that's a bit of a pity. It was disrupted a bit. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, actually, I think that was the best thing that could possibly have happened to us. And the reason is that it caused a number of us to really ask ourselves, what are we actually doing when we're outside there? I know it caused Terry to think. He and I chatted a bit afterwards. I know it caused some people watching online to, at least one person, to think, oh, I do hope somebody talked to him. My heart went out to him for whatever was on his heart. And the questions we seem to be asking is, what are we? What are we doing as we have our service outside? Being outside with people going past, people able to see and hear, makes us think, what are we doing there? In the sermon, is someone walking past, hearing that God himself is speaking to our hearts? Someone goes past during the singing. Are they seeing people delighting in what God has done for them? They go past and listen to some of the prayers for a minute or two as they walk past, or maybe pause outside. Are they seeing a people who know that God is in charge? They know that God cannot be trusted. They can find an inner peace through being able to cast their cares on him. Maybe if they saw what we were doing in communion, would they be seeing people who are remembering that Jesus laid down his life for them? So look at the minister preaching or leading the service. Are they seeing somebody who's going through the motions of a religious service, doing outside what they would otherwise be doing inside the building? Or are they seeing somebody fulfilling his calling to proclaim God's good news, fulfilling his calling as a pastor, someone who cares for the sheep, someone who is there for the community? They're seeing a congregation who, to be honest, if they're honest, were wishing they were either in church or maybe at home in front of the TV. Or are they seeing people for whom this is an essential part of the week, maybe in some ways a high point of the week, a time where they get the refreshment, the equipping they need to live for Jesus for another week? What are they seeing? What are the people walking past, the people driving past, the people going to the shops and saying, what's that tent up there for? What are those people doing there? What are they seeing? I think what Jesus would have wanted is he'd want them to see a people who love one another. The night before he died, Jesus said to his disciples, by this all men, all people will know you're my disciples, if you have love for one another. And the sort of love he was talking about was a love that's prepared to metaphorically wash each other's feet, maybe physically to wash each other's feet if we've got the right gloves and PPE. People ultimately prepared to lay down their life for one another. Is that what that gentleman saw? Wouldn't it be great if that's what he'd seen? Seen that if I could be part of that, I could be part of a people who show that love for one another. Why? Because Jesus showed that love for us. So I'm really glad that gentleman turned up in our service on Sunday, and I'm glad that he disrupted it slightly, because in that disruption I think he's caused many of us to think more deeply about what we really are, and hopefully, by God's grace, to become it. So may God bless you today, and I'll see you for Thought for the Day tomorrow.